Let's welcome on founder of US Gold. It's ticker USAU. This is Ed Carr. How you doing, Ed? And I see you got the old mute trick. It's the oldest trick in the book. There he is.
Look at
What's up?
that. I'm doing really well, Brent. I'm a little older than you, so it takes me a while to get this technology going. I had to unmute.
You got it, Mike. I believe in you, man. How you doing today?
Yeah, I'm well. How are you? It's good to
Doing
be
well.
here on a Friday.
Take it away, sir.
Great. Thanks so much for having us. So,
Nope.
yeah, US Gold Corp. We're excited to be here at the Benzinga conference and presenting our gold exploration development company, publicly traded company on the NASDAQ. We've got great projects in Wyoming, Nevada, and Idaho, so in the United States. I'm going to be going through the presentation very quickly. We'll be making some forward-looking statements, so everyone just keep that in mind. Give you the highlights of the company. We're an exploration development company. We're trying to push a project of ours in Wyoming into production right now. We know we've got a lot of gold and copper there in the ground. Looks economic. We're going to have a geological report coming out the end of June, so just a couple of weeks away. And we think that's going to be a big catalyst for us to potentially give us a re-rating to the upside. In addition, we have other exploration projects, and any of these could be potential company makers. We're listed on the NASDAQ. We've got good liquidity and cash in the bank, and it's a really good time to be looking at this sector overall. When you look at the company, so 4 projects in our company today. We founded this company back in February of 2014 with the asset on the left-hand side of the slide here called our CK Gold Project in the state of Wyoming. Great project. We know we've got approximately 1 million ounces of gold, MII, and 280 million pounds of copper. So we're pushing this forward right now and gives our shareholders a lot of value. Look in that center column, you see in Nevada, we've got 2 big district scale exploration projects. We're trying to find a big deposit in Nevada, and that's very, very exciting. And then on the right-hand side of the screen, we have an exploration project in Idaho. So we're in 3 of the probably most mine-friendly Western states in the United States. No geopolitical risk in our company. When you look at the overview of us financially, we're really proud of the fact that we're on NASDAQ. There's only a handful of gold exploration and development companies trade on the NASDAQ. And look at our share structure. We have what I believe is the tightest share structure in the business. Most of these exploration companies, if you look in Canada or Australia, they have 300-400 million shares outstanding. We have just over 7 million shares of common. That's it. And this is very plain vanilla cap table. There's no ratchets, no resets, no crazy derivatives or anything like that. There are a few warrants. If they're all exercised, it'll bring about another $15 million of cash into the company. Important to point out, of the 7 million shares, management and insiders were pretty big owners of this company. We own about 2 million shares with a couple of key select shareholders. So the real float on this company is only about 5 million shares. I think our stock price today is about $10.70, so about a $74 million market cap. You look, we have $14 million in cash. We have no debt in the company, so it's only about a $60 million enterprise value. Look on the right, you can see our stock price, like the whole sector, can be volatile. And I'm sure a lot of the Benzinga audience has been watching the cryptos. If you've been seeing commodities climb, copper's running, lumber's booming. We've seen iron ore spike up 10% over the last weekend. Look at lumber, all the commodities are really going. And that's due to, a lot of central banks and governments around the world printing money to combat the downturn due to COVID and the pandemic. Well, that seems to be changing now, and inflation's coming out. And I tell you what, I really believe the second half of this year, gold is going to go. So it's a good time to be looking at this sector, good time to be looking at companies like ours. See down the bottom right, we got 2 analysts that cover us. Got significantly higher than the market price targets. You can get their research reports out there online. We've got a great management team led by a gentleman here named George B. George is a mining industry rock star, real leader, 40-year career, 16 of those as a senior executive with Barrick Gold. And I like to say that George B is kind of the Tom Brady of mining. He's a winner. Tom goes from New England down to Tampa Bay and bang, he wins the Super Bowl. And when George B saw our project in Wyoming, he said, wow, guys, I can put the ball in the end zone. I can score. I can win the Super Bowl of mining with this project. So we're really, really excited about that. We're going to go through the projects very quickly. Start in Wyoming with our CK Gold Project. So look at this state of Wyoming here, this map. You see where we're located. We're in the southeast corner, our Copper King project. If you wanted to get here, you'd fly into Denver, rent a car, and literally drive up to Cheyenne, hook a left, go out to our project, and within 2 hours, you could drive a two-wheel drive rental car right on top of this project. It's not the jungles of Africa or the high mountains, the high Andes of South America. Very, very accessible. We're on all state of Wyoming ground. It's important. State of Wyoming is a great state to have a mining project in. It's a very natural resource friendly state. There's a lot of coal mines, a lot of uranium mines, a lot of oil and gas. So they really understand the extractive nature and industry. In addition, the state has a royalty on this project. So the monies that we will pay the state when we put this project into production, those go to the state of Wyoming educational budget. So once we put our project into production, start generating revenues, we'll be helping the state of Wyoming teachers and kids. Being on state of Wyoming ground is very important because we don't have to deal with the U.S. federal government authorities in Washington, D.C., the BLM, the EPA, even the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. We only deal with the state regulators in Cheyenne for our permit approval process, and that'll give us a much quicker, much shorter, we believe, potential permitting timeline. So when we look at the project itself, we have a PEA, that's a preliminary economic assessment, pretty detailed geological report. It's on our website. We're upgrading it right now to another document called a PFS, but we know this is a real viable project. It's got about 1.1 million ounces of MII gold, 300 million pounds of MII copper. Look on this image. You can see the outline of the deposit. Imagine like a big American football, just sunk out in the Wyoming countryside with the stitching coming right up to the surface. This deposit does come right up to surface. That's very important because it makes it highly potentially economic in the future. When we look at the economics out of the PEA, when we did this back in 2017, they used 1275 gold and 280 copper. I think people probably know today gold's about 1840, copper's about 460, 467, somewhere in that range. So these are really conservative prices. But even at that level, look at this. The project throws off $300 million of net cash flow. It's got a IRR of 33% annualized. It's very attractive in this low interest rate environment. NPV on this thing's 178 million. Our market cap today is only 74 million. So this is going to produce a gold copper concentrate. We also have silver. It'll be flotation with a gravity circuit. Very easy to put this project into production. As we move towards our PFS right now, towards the end of June, we're really excited. A lot of improvements. We're going to increase our resource base overall. We think we'll be able to improve our gold and copper recoveries from the past. We're putting together a pretty simple plan under George B's leadership, and we want to get some credits for that silver. So this project being in the state of Wyoming, there's a lot of factors that bode very well for putting it into production. We're close to water, we're close to power, we're close to a workforce in Cheyenne. George B has built projects in South America, high up in the Andes Mountains at altitude. He had to build hundreds of kilometers of roads, work camps to house the employees. Not like this at Copper King at all. This thing is really close, very accessible. In fact, we are only 2 miles north of a major interstate highway, I-80, and there's a rail line that comes right in there because there's an industrial gravel pit just to our south. We think we'll be able to use that rail line potentially in the future, the rail spur. We'll be able to ship diesel fuel in, be able to ship concentrate out, have a lot of cost savings. We're also exploring, since this will be an open pit, we're exploring using that future open pit, that future hole in the ground as a pit lake. Water is a big issue out west. We could make this a potential future reservoir. And so a lot of synergies on the project. When you look at an asset that we have here with the CK Gold Project in a rising gold price market, today gold about $1,840 an ounce, but we updated our economics at $1,600 gold. We kept copper very conservative at 280. And look at this, the value of the project jumps all the way up to $321 million. So a lot of value for our shareholders. And that's where you get the leverage in these companies in a rising gold price. So we drilled out there last year, did a lot of drilling. It's looking really good. We've released a bunch of those results. And I tell you, the project's still open. It's open down to the southeast. We've got a lot of upside, blue sky upside to add potentially more ounces of gold, more pounds of copper. So real catalysts on this project coming at us. We're looking at The big geological study, the end of June. A lot of institutions right now are on the sidelines watching that. We think we're really going to re-rate. That'll give us a value creation bump. So watch the news going into June and July. Let's go quickly now just through our Nevada and Idaho exploration projects. Going to go real quick, show you where we're located. 2 projects in Nevada on 2 of the most premier gold trends out there. Keystone's on the Cortez Trend. Maggie Creek is on the Carlin Trend, next to some of the biggest mines in North America. Start with Keystone. Keystone's in Barrick Gold Country. We're just south of the Cortez Hills mine, Pipeline, Gold Rush, ET Blue. These are huge mines, huge discoveries, very economic. Our project looks really prospective. We've got a big property package here, federal government ground. Our claims are leased from the Bureau of Land Management, all in good standing. We've been hard at work at Keystone over the last couple of years, trying to drive forward towards a big discovery. If we hit a big discovery here with our tight shareholder structure, I think our stock price could go up potentially like one of Elon Musk's rocket ships. It'll be exciting. So how do we get there? We did claim consolidation, we did mapping, we've done geophysical surveys, we've done a bunch of drilling, and it looks very prospective. The drilling shows us we've got the right host rocks. All of these big Carlin type deposits are hosted in very specific limestone carbonates. We got some of the best rocks our chief geologist, Ken Coleman, has seen in Nevada. We've got a great upper plate, lower plate, all the right indicators. The rock's really brecciated. We've seen alteration. We've seen pathfinders literally off the chart. Every single one of our drill holes has seen anomalous gold, shows us that there's a big world-class gold system that has pushed the gold out into those host rocks. And now we got to drill into one of these high-grade feeder zones for a major discovery. We think we're really close. 2019, we hit a great drill hole at Keystone. We're following up on that right now. So watch the news. We're going to have a Keystone exploration program this summer. We'll be putting out press releases on that and announcing our plans and intentions. Again, if we can hit a drill hole here, it'll be very exciting being this close to Barrick Gold. Moving on to Maggie Creek. So it's on a parallel gold trend right next to the Cortez called the Carlin Gold Trend, another world famous gold trend in Nevada. And when you look at Maggie Creek, the real key is look at this image. Look how close we are to Newmont's gold quarry. That is a massive mine, 26 million ounce monster. So you can see the open pit here on this chart. Our claims, we are right next to that. In fact, Newmont's Rainbow deposit is right on our southern claim boundary. We are literally drilling today at Maggie Creek. Ken Coleman's out on that project drilling. We think it looks quite prospective. This all comes down now to the assay results. As we drill these holes, we extract the core out of the drill rig, we send those to the assay laboratories, and those assay results will determine if we found any gold. We'll probably have these assay results back, I would hope, within 2 months. So let's assume conservatively the end of July. And again, if we hit a discovery hole, could be a big value creation event. So last project we have, switching to Idaho, is called Chalice. Idaho is a great state. Key here in Idaho, we have a 313,000 ounce historic resource. We really think we can expand this. We're permitting this right now. Hope those permits get approved this year. And then we'll have more exploration plans and announce more to the market. So that's the projects overall. When you look at our valuation, compare us to our peer group, we think we are highly undervalued just based on our Wyoming project of Copper King. So the end of June, that geological report going to give us a big re-rating, potentially big catalyst, drill results coming at us. So it's an exciting time. When you look at our team, I talked about George B., mining industry leader. We've got a great board of directors. In fact, George was just up in Cheyenne with Ryan Zinke, former Secretary of the Interior, cabinet level secretary in the Trump administration. He's also, long-term Navy SEAL. And the rest of our board is very, very experienced mining industry veterans. You look at our technical advisory team, second to none. George B's known a lot of these guys for his 40-plus year career. So that's the overview. We got a company today with real catalysts. You've got cash in the bank to execute, listed on the NASDAQ, very, very tight shareholder structure. So any of these events could really give us the upside. I think it's an exciting time with a rising gold market, probably for the second half of 2021 into 2022. And we're very, very excited about the opportunities in front of us. So more than happy to turn it over to you guys and see if we have any questions.
That was excellent, Ed. Thank you. Yeah, definitely got some good questions in there, and I got a good one for you, I think here. So, the theme for this track today is the new economy, and I would definitely argue that gold and mining is absolutely going to be a part of the new economy. But I want to hear from you. Give investors a little bit of a reassurance as to why a mining company should be included in the quote new economy.
Yeah, without a doubt, Brent. And I agree. And I would also point strongly to our copper component of our Wyoming Copper King project. The Biden administration right now is talking about this $2.2 trillion infrastructure program. So there's going to be a lot of emphasis on the electrification. We know that, the whole automobile industry is moving like Tesla towards electric cars. The average electric car takes 180 pounds of copper. So we've got, American copper located in Wyoming with the gold. These are strategic metals that'll really ensure the long-term viability of the United States. And whether it's for, windmills or solar panels, electronic circuitry, both gold and copper are going to be very, very important for kind of rebuilding the infrastructure of the company going forward.
Love it. And then I'm going to put this question up on the screen. This is a really good one. Brian Heflin is asking the big question for me: how does gold compete against crypto as a hedge against inflation? Care to tackle that one, Ed?
Yeah, look, I'd love to. And I'm on record on this multiple times talking about it. And, you got to look. I own crypto. I'm long crypto. I love the sector, but I'm also a gold guy. So I think that they're not mutually exclusive. You can have them together. Now, crypto's only been around. Bitcoin's been around since 2008, since the white paper came out, really 2009, since any trading. And I tell you what, we haven't had any inflation in the world since 2009. So crypto as a hedge against inflation, it might be just starting to rear its ugly head now, but we haven't had any. Gold has been used as a store of value for over 2,000 years. And Brent, back in the time of the Roman Empire, you could go out and get a custom made suit of chainmail for 1 ounce of gold. Gold today is at $1,840 an ounce. Well, I tell you what, with $1,840, you can go to New York, Milan, London, Hong Kong, and get a pretty nice suit. That's what gold does, man. You got a 2,000-year purchasing power parity history. In 2,000 years, every single fiat currency in the world has gone to zero. They're all paper. Will crypto be around in 20 years? Maybe, probably. Will it be around 2,000 years? I have no idea. I really don't. But gold will. It really will. It stands the test over a real long period of time.
Love the analogy, Ed. Let me hide the question there. Oh, there we go. Ed Carr, he is chairman of US Gold. It's ticker USAU. And can we pop on the, there it is, US Gold Corp. Gold. Oh, we got a nice gold extension. If you're looking for more info on US Gold, Ed, thanks a ton for joining us. Have a good rest of your day. Have a good weekend, sir.
You too. Thanks so much for having us.